We're back. Welcome to the video. It's been a long time since we've done a long form video. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of trail running and a full day of eating, of course, and I'll take you through my training routine. But first, let's get a couple things knocked out. Every day for the last 80 days I've been doing Duolingo and learning Spanish, so at some point in like 2055 I should be able to speak conversationally. Anyways, it's been a part of my morning routine for the last couple of months now, so keeping the streak alive. After that, I'll go ahead and get meal number 1 and probably get ready for our run today. Okay, so meal number 1 is going to be some Greek yogurt and berries. We've got raspberries and blueberries, as well as these homemade bagels that my wife made. I got a comment the other day on one of my shorts that the bagels don't have a hole in them, but technically they've got this little hole right here. So we're going to keep calling them bagels even though they don't really have a hole in them. The point of this meal is to make sure that I've got some carbs in as well as a little bit of protein, and that it's not too heavy, so when I'm out running it's, not sitting poorly. You don't want a stomach ache or a cramp or anything like that while you're out there, so just keeping it relatively light. For this meal we're looking at about 601 calories, 31 coming from protein, 109 coming from carbs, and about 4 grams of fat. However, take that with a grain of salt. The bagel is homemade and I don't have the entire recipe broken down inside of MyFitnessPal. So I kind of just do an estimate on what the calories are based on the homemade bagel option and MyFitnessPal, which isn't the most optimal way of tracking, but for me personally, it's been working so far. All right, I'm gonna eat this and then I'll see you all in just a second. All right, we're gonna do take 2 here because I don't know if I actually got the audio on the last one. But today we're taking our supplements. I actually already took them, but we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. First, we've got fish oil pills. I take 2 of these every day, just something I got used to because I don't eat enough fish. Vitamin D3, I consume this because right now it's winter time, the sun's not out very often, so we're just adapting and taking it through supplementation, but if you're able to get outside and get enough vitamin D, then that's great. I also started taking the C3. I got this for free with my last Transparent Labs order. I have no affiliation with the brand, but I like their products. And I've been taking it. It helps with some kind of joint support or inflammation. So definitely been helping out with that, and maybe it's placebo. I don't know, but it's been helping, so I've been taking it. Also, I got it for free, so might as well use it. Last but not least, creatine. Everybody should be taking creatine. It helps with muscle building, but it's also got some nootropic benefits because of the way that it stores water in your brain, I guess. I'm not really a professional on supplementation in that way, but I do take about 7 or 8 grams every morning. So I take this along with the pills, and I do everything broken out, so I don't take all the pills at once, primarily because I think it's just more bioavailable if you break it out, but that's a nitpick at best. Alright, we finally made it to the running trail. This is Mount Falcon and Morrison. You might know about Morrison. They have this kind of semi-popular venue called Red Rocks Amphitheater. We're gonna go ahead and run around that. It's about 7.5 miles. I was thinking about doing it twice, but honestly, probably won't. For today's fuel, I have a Strupel waffle, some electrolytes, running gel. You might be wondering why I have so much for the purpose of a 7.5 mile run. Obviously it's overkill, but the reason for that is because I'm trying to test out some products for an ultramarathon that I'm running in September. So I'll be running with my vest today. Just trying to get a feel for like what sits well in my stomach and what doesn't. And a little run like this, or not really little, but like, it's not a huge run, right? We're not hitting double-digit mileage, but it's enough to kind of see how something sits early on in a race. So that's the thought process behind wearing the vest. It's just getting ready for the big run, the big race. And then of course we'll see if this type of work helps kind of make progress on the marathon that I'm going to be running in May, which is going to be the Colfax Marathon in downtown Denver. Anyways, that's enough yapping. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready. I have to pee real bad, so I'm gonna do that first, and then we'll go ahead and get our run started. It is 8:36, just finished up the run, and I'm gonna be honest, the first half was pretty brutal. I actually went on the wrong trail, and for the most part, the first half wasn't very runnable. I was able to run some, kind of split it for the first 2 miles, and then the last mile or so, not really at all. Then I got back on track, last 3/4 of a mile or so, went completely fine. I managed to find a little cutoff where the views were beautiful, super cool area to run around, but should have done a better job of figuring out what trail I was going to go on and finish on, but you live and you learn. It is what it is. Coming back down, I feel like my times were really good. I was steady, and I was able to make up some of the time from the time lost going up. So anyways, next time I'll be sure to bring some poles, let myself get uphill a little bit, and I split the workouts into 2. I'll do my Strava here and here, and you can see what the times ended up being. Definitely a lot faster going downhill. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and eat a Transparent Lab protein bar because I'm finishing up a workout. Usually I'll finish up a workout and eat right away and then pick up an actual meal afterwards. So I will see you all in a little bit. We have our second real meal here. As you can see, we've got 4 over easy eggs. We've got a couple of protein pancakes from Transparent Labs. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love these, but I just made them because they have carbs and protein in them, and I'm trying to get rid of them. Then we've got some strawberries, a little bit of maple syrup, and some whipped cream on top. Overall, this puts our meal at 683 calories, 45 coming from protein, 63 grams of carbs, and about 27 grams of fat. Meals like this are pretty well rounded, and honestly, it's a nice, easy one to make. One of my favorite Saturday meals. I will say that I did butcher these eggs as well as one of these pancakes, but what can you do? Even though I said I butchered them, let's see if they actually hold up. Definitely dry. Here we go. They're not great, but they're not the worst thing I've ever had. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this meal though, hang out for a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and lift. Fell asleep. I knew I said I was going to go to the gym, but I fell asleep and I need to get something to eat. Probably hear some sizzling in the background. That's Hannah, my wife, her lunch cooking. For me, we've got some bell pepper, rice, some ground beef, as well as a little bit of avocado in a cup. This is a really simple meal, quick to make, and it's about 426 calories. It also has about 28 grams of protein, about 44 grams of carbs, and about 18 grams of fat. Simple, quick, easy, sustainable. What more could you want? I'm gonna eat this and then I will be going to the gym to work out. One quick notice though, I probably won't film myself in the gym if it's too busy, but I'll probably get a couple of clips regardless of what happens on my phone. So we'll see how that goes, but I'll keep you updated. All right, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised, but it's super busy over here, or at least it looks like it from the outside. So I'm probably not gonna bring my camera in. I'll probably just film on my phone, because I do have some anxiety about filming and gyms. Don't know why, but, well, I kind of know why. I'm 160 pounds and strong for my size, but not exceptionally strong. So I just feel like kind of a douche doing it. But anyways, we're gonna get a pump in. If it's too busy, probably just head over to the house or head back to the house and work out in the garage gym. All right, see y'all here in a second. All right, I didn't end up filming my entire workout, but I did film all my squat sets with the exception of box squats to get warmed up. Then I did 6 sets of squats. It was 1 to 4 reps, no belt, just shoes. Worked my way up to 325 for 2 reps, which I'm okay with because I ran 7.5 miles this morning. Then did 6 sets of bench for 4 reps, 2 sets of pull-ups, just as many as possible. Then we hit barbell shrugs, but I just ended up using dumbbells instead of barbell.
Then I superset curls as well as skull crushers, just 2 sets, and kind of hit it as much as possible. Only ended up getting 8 reps on each set because I tried going pretty heavy on those. Then finished it off with some sit-ups and calf raises. Now we're gonna head back, grab a meal, and finally take a shower. Remember to always stretch after a long run. It may not seem like a big deal, but it definitely makes a huge difference in terms of recovery. And it just feels better after the run, helps the rest of the day go a little bit smoother. I look ridiculous stretching, I understand that. I'm no professional when it comes to stretching or mobility, but if I can do it in front of a camera, you can do it behind a camera and watch this video and do essentially the same stretches and just even keep it at like a feel pace. It doesn't have to be super intense or super heavy. But if I can do it in front of a camera, you can do it without a camera in sight. All right, another workout and another meal here. We've got some Trader Joe's chicken meatballs. Just tried these for my first time a couple of seconds ago, and I've got to say, definitely worth trying. Also got a banana. You might be thinking, wow, that's a real combination. You're probably even thinking, that's a little disgusting. If I'm being honest, it might be. I really didn't feel like cooking a carb. We already had these made, and I only had to peel this, so we're just going with it. What's also disgusting are these calories and macros. 393 calories, 32 coming from protein, 30 from carbs, and 18 from fat. That's disgustingly good and disgustingly simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat this meal, chill out for a bit, and finally take a shower, but I'll see you here in about 3 seconds. All right, dinner is served. We've got some burger bowls here. This has about 4 ounces of ground beef, some iceberg lettuce, pickles, red onion, some In-N-Out sauce, and then these little pieces of bacon. I've got 2 full pieces in here. And of course a little bit of cheese on top, nothing crazy. Then we've got these Trader Joe waffle fries, and they came out pretty slamming. It's one of my favorite recipes. It's really simple, really easy. Only takes like 10 or 15 minutes to cook, and those waffle fries only took about 12 minutes roughly in the air fryer. So if you're interested in waffle fries, go to Trader Joe's and check those out. Which means for this meal, we are looking at about 573 calories, 39 coming from protein, 37 from carbs, and about 32 from fats. Pretty close overall with the macros. One thing that Hannah and I noticed while we were going to the grocery store was that the bagels in the grocery store are lower calorie, but about the same amount of grams that I had this morning for a bagel. I'm saying that because I'm gonna roughly eat like 3,500 calories on my FitnessPal, but it's really just an estimate. About 200 of those might not be legit based on the amount of calories that the bagel ended up accounting for, because it's a homemade recipe. I kind of just hand jammed it. It's an estimate, it's not perfect, but I'm also burning so many calories, especially today, given the 7.5 mile run hike, and then lifting weights, hitting over 17,000 steps. It's a lot of calories that are burned. So I just wanted to preface that because your boy's gonna eat today. One thing I forgot to mention as well, I'm gonna have one of these sparkling waters from Sam's Club. This is the Member Mark sparkling water. It's kind of like those ice drinks that you find at the grocery store or Target or whatever. So I'm gonna have one of these. It's 0 calories. I'm not gonna be tracking it or anything like that, but I did want to mention it in case you're somebody that likes to have a little bit of flavor mixed into your day. These are a great option, so just wanted to throw that out there. Anyways, that's enough yapping. I'm gonna smash this real quick, and then we have a little skit that we're gonna be doing, testing out a recipe in just a second. Welcome to a new segment called Slaps or Cap. Welcome to a new segment called Does It Cap or Does Welcome to a new segment called Does It Slap or Is It Cap? Today we're gonna try this kid's recipe. I don't know his name, but he's a blonde-haired spiky kid from Boston. I've actually tried the recipe before, but technically the dish that I made it in was too shallow, so you got like a thin pancake cake-like cheesecake type thing. Honestly, the flavor and texture was fine. We're gonna make it again, and I'm gonna show you how. We're gonna need a couple things for this recipe, which shouldn't be a surprise because it's a recipe. Sorry, I had to look down at the mic, I wasn't sure if it was working. All right, the main 3 ingredients that we need are gonna be a cup of yogurt. If you use these little Oikos yogurts, it's actually 3/4 of a cup, but honestly, it doesn't matter. This recipe is not that precise, and I'll show you here in a second why that is. You also need 3 whole eggs. Don't be afraid to eat whole eggs. Egg whites are overrated. You want the entire thing because that's where all the micronutrients are from. 3 whole eggs, and then 3 bananas. See what I was saying about the recipe not being that serious? We don't have a precise amount of banana that we need for this recipe. We can pretty much do whatever we want. It's our recipe. So I'm just gonna throw in 3 bananas. I will track the grams of banana and of course include the fact that it's just 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt as opposed to a whole cup. But for the most part, the recipe stays the same beyond this. Now you can't customize it. I'll probably throw in some blueberries like the kid in the video. However, you could put in raspberries and it's probably gonna be just as good. All we're gonna do here is take all of our ingredients, throw it into a bowl, smash it, and mix it up. Basically, you're just gonna smash it and mix it until it looks like a nice yellow custard, as we can see right here. Sorry for the poor camera work. I'm doing this by myself, give me credit. One thing the little Muppet forgot to add to his recipe video was the cooking time. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you some recommendations. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350. We're gonna put our mixture into a nice deep pan here. Pan, or is it a cooking dish? Baking dish? What's it called? We're gonna put it into an 8x8 dish. Glass dish. You'll see here in a second, don't worry about that. Put it on 350, let it cook for like roughly a half an hour, but check on it every 5 minutes or so just to make sure that it's cooking. You should be able to stick a fork in it, and whenever you pull out the fork, there should be no like runningness or anything like that. I just call it a glass baking dish because that's what it is, but there's probably an actual name for it. We're gonna add our blueberries in. Sprinkle in as many as you want, doesn't really matter. Blueberries really don't have any calories. I mean, they do, but you'd have to eat a lot of them for it to really make a significant impact. One thing that is nice about this recipe right off the top is the fact that you can pretty much put it into the oven, cut it up, and prep it for the week. And it gets rid of old bananas, so if you're one of those people that lets bananas go bad, or you have a couple laying around, you might as well make something out of it, and this is what we're doing here. Now we're gonna let this thing cook, and hopefully, with it being this thick now, it'll still end up being okay. Now when it wasn't a thinner glass baking dish, I will say it did taste good, would recommend, props to this kid. Alright, at long last, here we have our little cheesecake, whatever, bake banana thing. I'm gonna be honest, this doesn't look too good, but part of that is my fault. I think I should have cooked it at 375 for about 30 minutes instead of 350, but you live and you learn. This cooks for about 45 minutes, and I thought if it got cold enough, it would kind of set better than it actually did. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt based on that. Here you can see the bite. The blueberry is a little mangled, but it's fine. It almost is a little bit eggy, which is weird. But the banana and the blueberries definitely save it. I don't really know what the purpose of the Greek yogurt was because this thing was already super moist as it is, but you know, it's fine. As far as does it slap or is it cap, I'm gonna give it a slap pass, but we're gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. Like it barely meets the minimum requirements for passing. It's not that it's bad, it's just not exceptional. But if you are looking for an easy treat to make, this is probably a decent option. And again, mine's not super aesthetic, so that's not helping the case. However, it's not bad. If you like banana, you'll like this. If you like blueberries, you'll like the combo. And you can serve it with fruit, maybe do a little dollop of whipped cream. Fuck. But overall, it's pretty good. The calories and macros for that little cheesecake thing are about 178 calories just for the cheesecake, not the kiwi and strawberries. We're looking at about 28 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fat, and about 10 grams of protein. That's not going to be a perfect representation of what it is because, again, the weights can vary between bananas and things like that. So don't invest too much into the macros, but that's roughly what I'm tracking for this recipe. Speaking of not looking too far into things, as far as our total calories today go, we're looking at 3,414 total calories, 206 grams of protein, 388 grams of carbs, and about 128 grams of fat. One thing I'd also mention is there's about 40 grams or so of fiber. Fiber keeps you fuller for longer, so it's good to have some fiber in there. Today's full day of eating didn't require me to feel fuller for longer. It really did require me to consume a lot of calories because of all of the activity. Days like this are very normal for a weekend for me. I'm typically doing a lift, a run, a pretty intense run at that, and a lot of walking. I need to make sure that my calories are up for that reason. With that said, a normal Monday to Friday is going to be a lot different, and you can probably tell if you're somebody that follows my YouTube shorts where you'll actually see my regular full days of eating. However, getting close to about 3,000 calories is pretty normal for me here these days. So I try to keep it between that 2,700 to 3,000 calorie marker roughly every day. Today being an exception because of the long run plus the lift. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed these little adventures that I took you on, and hopefully you learned something, and if you didn't, hopefully you were entertained. Real quick before we do go, if you're interested, I do offer accountability coaching through my company, Turas Group. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click the link down below. If not, no worries, don't sweat it. However, we do offer free consults for people interested in trying to improve their life and, start that fitness journey. Anyways, with all of that said, that's about it for today's video. I'm happy to be back on the long form content. We'll see you in the next one, but don't go yet. Right here, YouTube recommended a video just for you.